back to The Dose of It, the unfiltered podcast where we talk all things weight loss, wellness, GLP-1s, and becoming that girl, one step and injection at a time.
We're your hosts, Chris and Taylor, and while we're on this journey with you, let's be super clear. We are not medical professionals.
Just two besties sharing our real life experiences, the good, the bad, the messy, and everything in between.
So grab your water, get your steps in, and let's get into The Dose of It. Hey friends, welcome back to yet another episode of The Dose of It. We are so excited to have you guys here again. Chris, how are you feeling this morning?
I am feeling so good. I literally woke up today. I got my ass up and I hit up the gym. I did not want to get up this morning, y'all. When I tell y'all my pillow was so cozy and I was sleeping so good, there's just something about waking up early on your day off and having to go to the gym that's just a little bit brutal, but I still did it anyway. So I'm very proud of myself. How are you feeling today, Tay?
Well, girl, I just have to say, me, along with, I know a lot of our listeners and viewers, girl, just look up to your ass for getting your ass up every fucking morning, because I have yet to get the motivation to do that. So kudos to you. I'm feeling really good. Period issue is definitely still ongoing. Little update. I think last week we were talking, but I had my ultrasound yesterday. So right now I'm just waiting on the results to see if they see any fibroids or anything like that. I'm kind of scared. I'm hoping that everything's okay. You know,
Yeah.
thoughts and prayers for that. But otherwise, I'm feeling good, Chris. I'm feeling good.
Well, I'm sending all the good vibes to you, and everyone in the chat last week was so nice and supportive, sending you all the good vibes too. So definitely keep us posted because that is no joke, girl. We are here for you, babe.
I love you. I love you guys. Thank you.
Before we get started on today's episode, me and Taylor just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone that might be new here. We're so thankful for you guys to have us on your screen right now or on your phone listening to us yapping. We know that this journey can be a very vulnerable one. So for you to choose us to listen to means the world to us. And we do have some news that we want to share with you guys, which we shared last week, but just in case you did not hear it or if you didn't get to listen to last week's episode, Taylor, why don't you let them know, girl?
So we have stickers. Guys, we have stickers. So super exciting. You guys have been asking for merch. So we were able to get some little stickers crafted. Again, shout out to Spring. Spring is our designer and we love Spring so much. So shout out to you, Spring, for helping us. If you guys are interested in purchasing the stickers, we do have them posted on our Instagram and our TikTok. Just send us a DM on there. The pricing is also listed on there if you guys are interested in the pricing. But yeah, buy our stickers. Our stickers are so cute.
And also another really exciting news that if you did not know, we did also start a Patreon community. So if you are on a weight loss journey or on a GLP-1 journey and you're like, dude, I need support, I feel alone in this journey, go to the Patreon. Literally, it's life-changing. I feel like everyone in that community is so supportive and so motivating. When I tell you guys that this morning, I did not want to get up. So many people in that chat were like, girl, get up. It's time to get shit done. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'm up. So I'm very thankful to be part of the Patreon. And yeah, if you are looking for a support group to be a part of, look no further.
So many of our friends in there were already up before 6 a.m. Some of them were in there they were messaging us get your asses up. And Pris literally this morning, she was like, I'm up. She's
I did not want to get up. But dude, tell me why some of them literally are hitting 10K steps at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, damn.
Oh, they're showing us out.
They're like, what is that bird that runs really fast?
And flamingos don't run fast, do they?
No, I don't think
emu. It's an emu.
No. It's there's a cartoon of that bird.
An emu. Aren't they really fast?
A roadrunner.
I don't know what that is.
Oh my god. No, okay. If you know what I'm talking about, searching. Let me know because a roadrunner, it's that bird. It's a cartoon bird. And he was always running around crazy. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I have to look it up. Everybody in the comments I know is going to be like, Taylor, you don't know what that is. And I'll be like, no, I don't. I sure don't. Also, we had our first community meeting of the Patreon. So that was really, really fun. So you guys literally, it was the most heartfelt, getting to know all of you guys and sharing your journeys. And we had one person that said she works from home and she never even shows her face on her Zoom meetings from her work from homes. And she felt comfortable enough to show her camera and talk to us and hang out with us, and stuff like that really resonates with us and it means the world to us. So we love you guys.
And I think it's also me and Taylor, obviously we know we have a following and stuff and we're very grateful for it, but just to see everyone come together, all different ages, all different, body types, everyone different cultures and stuff like that. It's just all together in one group in one setting. It's just so powerful because we are all in one way on the same journey and we can relate to each other. And I feel like that's so important to have when you're on this type of journey, because there's days where, I feel like what I'm doing is not right, or I need help on this, and I love how open we can be in that group, because I asked for advice. Like, how do people handle this situation? Which kind of leads me into the first topic of today's episode, liver, which, if you don't know, I call it Tay liver. Live. We had told ourselves that we would not be weighing ourselves this month. How are you doing on that?
Yeah. Yes, the month of June was Pris and I's no weighing ourselves month. I weighed myself twice this month.
Okay.
I weighed myself once a few weeks ago, and I told Pris about it, and I was like, "Did you weigh yourself?" And we talked about it, but I actually did step on the scale 3 days ago again.
That's okay. That's
I
okay.
did, but I wanna say, also for anybody struggling out there with the scale, is that that is an improvement because I was stepping on that hoe every morning.
Me, I weighed myself once this month, and I could sit here and like beat myself up for doing it, but dude, we used to weigh ourselves every single day. Like
We did.
twice a day, 3 times a day. It was really bad. So, I do think that this challenge, even though maybe we aren't like doing it correctly, we're doing it our way, and I think that's also part of a weight loss journey. It's like you do it your own way. Whatever works for you. You don't have to do it the same thing, or you don't have to do it the same way that the person next to you is doing it. So, even though we set this challenge for ourselves, I think we're doing it in a different way. Like we're not weighing ourselves as much. And I do think that, like in the last couple episodes, we talked about whether the scale was like a friend or a foe, or if it was just like a piece of metal. Like, it is just a piece of metal at the end of the day, but it is nice to get a little bit of validation every now and then.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm also not allowing the scale to dictate whether I'm going to have a good day or not.
No, and that's why journeys like this are so important, and I don't wanna say, like, I'm happy that you and I both, like, messed up Pris, but almost, like, in a way I am because it made us realize, like, the wins that we still won this month, and the fact that, yes, we still weighed ourselves once or twice this month, but like we said, is that it's not every day like it used to be, and also, like, I think that we were able to really focus on non-scale victories this month and
Yeah.
think
Oh my
about
God.
things that
Yes.
yeah, and think about things that also really matter other than just the scale because, like you said, it's just a piece of metal. It really should hold no value in your journey. I think one thing, kind of tying it back to the Patreon, that we learn a lot about from you guys is that you guys really, like, some people will say that that is their motivation to keep going, is stepping on that scale daily. And some people are, they have a positive relationship with that and they don't have any negativity around it. Like, they don't, I could kind of go into a spiral on why I think that that's still kind of negative if you're using that as the motivation because there should be other
Yeah.
ways of motivation but as long as I guess it's not really something like toxic because not everybody is toxic around the scale but I think that even this morning we had one of our friends in the chat saying that she had woke up and gained 2 pounds and she weighed herself this morning and she was beating herself up because she had sweets the night before and I just like I wish I could like go into your guys' houses and take the scales from you because I did that kind of same thing in the beginning of my journey and I just remember thinking like I'd never be down, I'd never lose the weight that I wanted to lose and I remember just being so hard on myself thinking like, if you keep eating these sweets, if you keep letting yourself have a Dairy Queen Blizzard, and I don't know, I just kept like spiraling about all these stupid things about the scale and whenever I was weighing myself daily, and now like this whole month was so freeing because I did have a Dairy Queen Blizzard a few times this month. I did have a cupcake the other night. Like I actually finished the other half of that cupcake while I watched Love Island last night. But it was like freeing because I wasn't going to step on the scale the next morning to see how much it had caused me to gain,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, for sure.
it
I
taught me
think
so
me
much
and
this
you.
month.
Yes, I love that. And I think I actually know I agree with everything that you just said, because I think me personally, and I think maybe you, just like being like a close friend of yours, I know that we were kind of using that scale every day to like let us know if that day was good or not, or if we failed or not. And I think we relied on it to let us know like you're doing enough or you're not doing enough. Tomorrow you need to push harder. And anytime that we would maybe slip up a little bit or eat something that maybe we were already beating ourselves up for wanting, and we would go to that scale and then it would weigh more because you're weighing yourself at the end of the day, we would beat ourselves up so hard and just like have the worst day ever and then wake up the next day wanting to go into a toxic culture again to make up
A
for it.
cycle, yeah.
Yeah. So I think even though me and you both not necessarily messed up, but even though we both did weigh ourselves, I think we have, me personally, I think I'm getting better at this relationship with the scale. And I think I needed this
Yeah,
little break because I,
yeah.
I honestly don't think about her as much as I used to. Like, I
Yeah,
like
me either.
ignoring her, if that makes sense. Like, I like fighting the temptation now. And I'm like, no, I actually
Yeah.
don't feel like I need to weigh myself today. I can probably go another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And dude, you weighing yourself twice in a month, that's good, Liv, because I remember you used to tell me more than once a day that you were weighing yourself. So that's
Yeah.
really freaking good. And honestly, I'm proud of us regardless.
Thank you, Liver. I'm proud of you too. And I also want to maybe talk about, so obviously this whole month, the whole theme of this month has been stepping off of the scale and staying off of it. I kind of like what you said too, where like you forgot about it. I definitely forgot about it too. It's like, and that's why I think we always push building habits to you guys
Yeah.
specifically, is because once you start doing something consistently and you build a routine, it becomes second nature. Like my water bottle, I have her near me all of the time, and I just, for the last like 5 months now consistently, I've been finishing at least 3 40-ounce water bottles a day, and it's built into my brain now. Now, I'm not perfect. Some days I will not forget it. I will purposefully not do it. It's a difference between like
Yeah.
forgetting now and like just I like will blatantly not do it. But I think that this is kind of one of those other habits that we built, Pris, and I'm proud of us, is that like the scale, like us kind of building a routine this month and getting on the routine and the habit of not weighing ourselves every day. Like you said, towards the end of it, we stopped thinking about it. And I think that I really encourage and push us to try that again in July. I don't think that just because now it's the end of June and this will be, the last like episode is of June, is I think maybe we challenge ourselves next month just to also maybe keep the scales hidden and maybe only pull it out once or twice a month, because that's what we really, I think, pushed a lot of our people that we coach and stuff like that. And so I think that we should probably practice what we speak and maybe try to continue focusing on the non-scale victories, because I think they're really, really important.
No, I agree. I think that's a really great idea. And I'm definitely going to incorporate that into my lifestyle because, like you said, it feels a lot more free. Like, I don't feel like I'm relying on that piece of metal to tell me
Yeah.
what I'm doing right or wrong.
Yeah.
And focusing on the non-scale victories is so much more rewarding to me, which I would love to know within this month. Hey, like, have you had any non-scale victories that you would like to share with the audience?
Well, okay, so I would love to share my non-scale victories, but before we get into that, I think talking about all that water and stuff like that, I just think I'm feeling a little, a
A
little
little
thirsty.
parched, a little parched.
Yeah.
Mr. Puffer brought me a coffee from Dunkin', and if you're wondering what my order is, I'm obsessed with their Dunkin' lattes right now.
They're Dunkin' Okay, but what do you get? Like, like, what's your like flavor of choice?
I don't know. I literally we just order an iced Dunkin' latte. Is there like different flavors? Period.
Yeah. So, oh my god, yeah, I was showing you guys my hydro jugs. So shout out to our little friends on Patreon, because some of them had hydro jugs, and she's like a Stanley, but like I can like also like just carry her around and like not spill.
Well, a little hack. Also, you could buy those lids for Stanleys on Amazon.
Yeah, you're right. let me spend more money. Why are you like trying to invalidate? Like, let me spend money.
Right.
A little thing. Yeah, anyways. A little thing about the Dunkin' lattes is, yeah, so a Dunkin' latte, they're really good. It's just the coffee milk that's like
Yeah.
sweet and has like, I guess, kind of like a sweet flavor. But my favorite thing to do is get a caramel Dunkin' latte.
Okay, you want to know what I really like from Dunkin'? I like to get blueberry.
Oh my god, the blueberry. What was that? It was like a trend. It was like blueberry and something else.
Blueberry and French vanilla.
Yeah, it was. Oh my god, we calling it like, it was like, oh, that was so good. I remember that was a trend last year, and I ate that the frick up.
It was so good. So sometimes I will get the Dunkin' latte with like 2 pumps of blueberry. But I don't know. I think this is kind of like really sweet for me today, so it's good. It's good.
Yeah, Dunkin' lattes are pretty sweet. I like them. So, tying back into what my non-scale victories were this month, I'm so glad that you asked. So, we talked about this a little bit on last episode, but I kind of was just standing in the mirror naked one day, as we all do sometimes, and just kind of checking my body out. And I started noticing loose skin. And I've never really noticed it before. I don't know if it maybe just kind of caught up to me, or I haven't really checked my body out, but I was just looking. And I would definitely count that as a non-scale victory, because I think that it shows the victories that I've done without looking at the scale for validation. Like, it's literally showing that, like, I've lost weight. So that was like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think that sometimes it is hard. We talk about body dysmorphia and stuff. Sometimes I really don't see the 80 pounds that I've lost sometimes, but I think that was such an indication of like, Taylor, like, this skin is literally loose because like there's no more fat in it. Like, you've lost weight. So that was a really good little non-scale victory that I experienced this month. Also, just yesterday I went to Old Navy, and whenever I used to shop before for like, I always wanted that cute, like, oversized t-shirt look, but I can never, like, whenever I was at Old Navy, Target, like the 3X was like I couldn't wear that as oversized. That was like my size. Like, that was like, it fit me well. Like, I was almost bursting out of the seams of a 3X. So no, like, I was like, my 3X tops, like, they would fit me snug. So I can never get that like cute oversized look.
No,
but I was
I
at
know what
Old
you mean.
Navy. Yeah. So I was at Old Navy yesterday and I was like, let me see if I can like find a cute little like oversized moment. So I was looking at a lot of the t-shirts and I ended up being able to get a double XL and a 2X in some of the shirts that now like I'm wearing one right now that
It
it
looks
gives
so
me
good
that
on you.
oversized baggy look. Thank you, Liv. But it gives me that oversized baggy look, and I've never really been able to shop in store. Like I can order off Shein and stuff. Like I'd order like a 4 or 5X and give me that like oversized look. The fact that I was able to like go into a store and like find the baggy look that I've really wanted was like really validating for me because it's like you're putting in that work and like you yeah, like I don't know, it was
You
really nice
deserve
to be able
it.
to like thank you, Liv. Thank you. And inspired by you, of course, to go to Old Navy because Pris
Oh my
loves Old
gosh.
Navy. So
I do
we
love Old
I
Navy.
was like, yeah, I was like, let me go in and check what she's talking about. So and by the way, guys, they have a huge sale right now. Everything's like 50 to 70% off. So if you've been looking to spend some money, go there.
Not sponsored, but Old Navy hit us.
Not hit us up, girl. But yeah, no, that was really fun for me, Liv. I know I actually got to listen to you experience a few non-scale victories this month, but I would love to hear you talk about yours.
Well, I would love to share, but before I share, I just wanted to say that being like me personally being like a hype girl for you, like that just makes me so happy for you, Liv, because I know how hard you are on yourself and I know how hard we are with ourselves just being on this journey in general. So getting rewarded in that way is so special. And I think a lot of the times we ignore going to go look for new clothing or like ignore going into the stores because we're so scared of like it not fitting or us thinking that we're more ahead than we really are. And then, like, what if I try the size that I think I am now, but it's too small still? And I know that's a
Yeah.
huge step to take. I know that is. And I just am so proud of you for even going to the store because I will say, and I really didn't really realize it was an issue for me until kind of recently. Like, I have been avoiding going to the stores because I am a little scared. Like, I. I don't want to fit into my old clothes, you know? And if I do fit into my old clothes, am I going to be like really sad or upset? Am I going to be hard on myself? It is something that I really kind of sat down and thought about the other day. But you inspired me personally to hit up Old Navy today and go try on a pair of clothes or go try on some clothes. And I don't care what size I am. Okay. I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to try on different things. And if it fits, it fits. And I know my worth. I know
Yeah.
where I'm at my journey. And nothing like no size or no tag is going to, no
It
size.
doesn't
And
define you.
it doesn't
And I
define you. Yeah.
can I say something too that just you just made me think of this? Liv, first of all, I am fully in support of you going to Old Navy. We love spending money. But also you just deserve to treat yourself. You've done so many amazing things this month for yourself. So a little treat is well deserved. But you just made me think of something. Now, all of us probably that are listening to this podcast and you and I, Pris, we're plus size. Okay, we've been in
Oh,
plus
yeah.
size bodies before. Maybe you're at your goal weight now, but most of us are plus size. And in my height of my like plus size, I didn't want to lose weight. Like I was happy where I was. I always told myself that weight does not define me. My size does not define me. I am confident no matter what size I am. I am beautiful. Big is beautiful. My
Mhm.
size, my weight does not define me. Where did that girl go? Where did that switch go where I'm just so mean to myself now? Like, why did I stop saying that to
I think
myself?
it
And
stems from us like being so scared to go back to her because we're
yeah,
so far along. And I think you had said this in another episode and it really did stick with me. I think it's because me personally, I have never lost the weight. I lost the weight and then I gained it back in like 2 weeks. And I was so used to being let down. I was so used to being big. And when I'm finally noticing the scale drop, when I'm finally learning when I'm finally noticing the clothes start to fit loose and I can change and I can feel the change in my lifestyle and my energy, I'm so scared to go back. And I think that's
yeah,
why we're so hard on ourselves because we're just scared, and we don't want to go back to
yeah.
her. But it's
No,
like
and
you are
I
not her
yeah,
anymore. We are not that person anymore. We
yeah,
literally would not be doing this journey if we were that person. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
the old me, and like I've talked in the last episode, I love her and I care about her, but I chose to move on and I chose to do better for her. And I think that's why I'm so hard on myself because I don't want to go back there. I don't want to lose what I've worked so hard to achieve. But it's like, dude, you are the best version of yourself that you have ever been. Like give
yeah.
yourself some
Oh, yeah.
grace.
Oh, yeah. Some grace as hell because, like you said, like us a year ago would never be in this position. Like we are not going to go back because us a year ago wouldn't be where we're at. Like we couldn't. But I guess like more so like this is just like ongoing with like why we stopped weighing ourselves this month and stuff. It's just like I wish. We really all need to just I know all of our listeners need to as well, but you and I specifically too, like we just need to be kinder to ourselves. And I think that really keeping away from the scale and actually practicing that will truly help me specifically. Just because I think I really, really do focus my worth so much on like how much that scale is moving. And I really want to stop that. But Pris, what was do you remember your non-scale victory this month?
Gosh, yes. Okay, so I do remember because so being a bigger girl my whole life, I don't know if it's just like a bigger girl thing in general, but I used to have like my comfort items and clothing that would like always fit me right. It wouldn't be too tight. I used to have a pair of jeans that I would wear over and over because it was very hard to find plus size jeans that actually looked good and fit good. So I would always go back to those outfits. And I did want to wear other stuff. Like I'd see other girls wearing like other type of like streetwear vibes. And I love the streetwear look. Like I love it, but I could never truly find something that was like you were saying, like baggy on my body. It would always feel like busting out the seams. So, I had a lot of clothes that I had kind of tucked away into a drawer, and I was like, I don't necessarily want to ever touch those clothes again because they make me feel like shit when I try to put them on, because they just would not fit. But I know we all have those like items in our closet that we never wanted to get rid of because we would say like we would come back and fit into them eventually. So it was that pile, right? And so me and Puffer were going to a movie date and I wanted to dress cute. Like I did not want to wear the same thing over and over and over and over. I'm like, dude, switch it up, Chris. Like be fucking real. And that kind of takes me back to the whole shopping and looking for new clothes. I think I am a little nervous to go shopping and looking for new clothes. So I kind of just stick with what I know, which is like my freaking biker shorts and like my activewear shit because like it kind of just like mends with my body, you know? Jeans, I haven't really worn jeans in a while because I'm scared. I don't know what size I am, but I'm like, who gives a fuck? Anyways, so I told myself I'm gonna dress cute today and I put on a cute little shirt and then I was like, fuck it, I'm going into that drawer. So I dug out a pair of these shorts and y'all, when I tell y'all that before, I was busting out the seams in those shorts. Like I thought I was cute in them, but truly like I don't know what possessed me, okay? So anyways, I love you, Lauren. The shorts hated to see me come and they were like, not this bitch again.
Yeah, you'd like reach into the drawer and they're like, no, please.
No. They're like, pick somebody else to do it.
We don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. Yeah, literally. So I literally pull those shorts out and I'm like, you're coming with me. So I grab them and I put them on and they freaking fit, dude. Like they fit me really good, actually. I was kind of shook. And I literally was on FaceTime with Liv and I was like, Liv, these shorts fucking fit me, bitch. And I was doing a whole model. I was doing a whole fashion show.
Oh yeah. She turned to the side. I said, where are you?
I'm gone, girl. She's out of here. And the shorts were like probably happy too because they're like, damn, this bitch finally got it right.
Oh, no, I know you're lying.
And honestly, like things like that just make me realize that the scale really ain't got shit on me. Like it just don't because like I would like 4 months ago me would be ecstatic to know that those pants that she's hiding from herself, she's going to fit into in a few months. And this time she's actually going to fit into them because I kept telling myself for months that I would go back and I would fit into clothes that I kept hiding. But I wouldn't do it. I had no motivation to do it. I kept telling myself, Chris, you have to get up. You have to do it for yourself. Like, do you want to fit in this shit or not? And I would just keep going. It's just like a cycle of me telling myself tomorrow, next day, like Monday, next week.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, we're so hard on ourselves when truly, like, we're not that version anymore. Like, I'm not that version.
No, you're not. And I have to say too, Chris, for knowing you, for how long I've known you and watching you, and I've seen you get off the scale after you weigh yourself, and I've seen you how you react. And I just have to say is that the smile and the joy that you had on your face after those shorts fit you, and you were like, you guys, like, I wish you guys could have been there. Like the way she was model walking and like turning to the side, and like she just was feeling herself. And I've never like the joy that you had on your face is something that the scale will never give you. If I, you know, it's just it's never like
I agree.
Seeing how happy you looked and how just like the non-scale victories really stick with us so much more than the damn numbers. And I just have to say, as your friend and watching you be so happy, like I just really hope that you also don't let that scale define you anymore because God, like seeing how like just your face lit up and listening just you talk about it right now, like yeah, I just want you to know that like you're so much more, you're worth so much more than the scale. Cause I know, you know, obviously like we talk about on the podcast is that you do sometimes like, yeah, you'll I love you too. And like I know we're both vulnerable when it comes to the scale and stuff like that. And we can both let it define us, but just watching how you light up and talk about your non-scale victories really really just prove that they're worth so much.
Well, I love you, Liver, and I would kiss you right now if you were closer to me. But I do want to touch up on something kind of that me and Liv have kind of been noticing a little bit. And if you're listening to this episode today and you're like, well, that kind of sucks. Like, I haven't really lost any weight and I still don't fit into old clothes. Like, I'm not doing this journey right. I think everybody's journey, actually, no, I know everybody's journey is differently. And my non scale victory might look different from yours.
Mhm.
For example, I just now started realizing that my clothes are starting to fit me a little bit different, right? And I was getting a little discouraged when I would see other people fitting into sizes that were smaller and I couldn't do it still. But if you really just take a step back and like truly reflect on your journey, I can guarantee you that there's somewhere in your journey there's a non-scale victory that you are choosing maybe to not look at because you're too focused on other things. And that is just me being a very honest and brutal friend here, okay? I
Yeah.
think we're so hard on ourselves on this journey that we refuse to take the non-scale victories that are given to us because we're so hyper fixated on other things. For
Mhm.
example, me, I refused to notice that clothes were fitting me different because I was so focused on the scale, on the number on the scale. And if it was not going down, my journey was not good enough. And I think a lot of people, and I've noticed this on social media, are so hard and mean to themselves and think that their journey is
Yes.
not validated or think that they're doing it wrong because they don't see that number on the scale budge. They don't see their clothes fitting loose. But let me tell you, girl, you showing up for yourself, even on the days that you don't want to, that's a non skill victory right there in itself. Okay. Because you tell me and you think about this shit. Would you have done that 4 months ago? Would you have done that a year ago? I wouldn't have. I would not be getting up at 7 in the morning on my day off to go to the gym. And that in itself is a
No.
non skill victory.
Yeah.
So, truly, if you're listening to this episode and you feel defeated, you feel like maybe what we're talking about you can't really relate to because, maybe you just started your journey or maybe you're going through a plateau or maybe you're just kind of going through a weird funk right now, which is totally validated. I just want you to take a second and truly think about what is something that old you could not achieve that you're doing today. Because, like I said, I think sometimes we truly get so hyper fixated on other people's non scale victories that we don't truly appreciate what ours are.
Other people's journeys. We really get so fixated on other people's journeys. And also like Pris said, you guys are like even in the chat with us, like all of our friends that we've made on the Patreon, you guys are meal prepping. You a year ago was ordering DoorDash 3 times a day, okay? But now you're meal prepping. You guys are making Greek yogurt pizzas and Greek yogurt parfaits and all of these like amazing recipes that like you got and like apple crisp, low like carb, all these things that like you guys would not have done a year ago. And I really think, like Pris said, is that like being the hard friends is that like we're focusing on the scale, we're focusing on the number way too much. And in reality, we really need to take a step back and say, like, I started this journey, I'm bettering myself, I'm meal prepping and I'm taking care of myself, I'm walking daily, and you're doing all of these things. And I really encourage all of you, if you're being really hard on yourself right now, is to take a step back and stop. I just challenge you for a week, 1 week, guys, to stay off of that scale for 1 week. And I beg of you, because it will make all of the difference. As someone who just did that for a month and focusing on other things, it really does help with the mental and makes you look at your journey so differently because so many other things are improving and changing other than just watching that scale. And I really, really challenge all of you listening to just for 1 week. I know 1 month is
Mhm.
long, so if you can't do the whole month, try 1 week of hiding your scale,
Oh,
one
yeah.
week of just focusing on other things and journal, write down things that are, what are you proud of that is not a scale? What is a non-scale victory? Like really all of you like journal something this week and say like what is a non-scale victory that I'm proud of this week. Chris, one little last section that I kind of want to talk about on this episode this week is let's talk about like what we're doing now to like reward ourselves or like praise ourselves now for like the non-scale victories and stuff because as a former, pantry rat, I remember when anything exciting would happen, what's one thing that we would do? We would
Eat.
reward ourselves with what? Yeah, we would eat. Yeah, no, literally, I'm driving. I'm in that drive-through. Oh, I had a good day at work. I'm in that drive-through.
Oh,
Okay, so
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm a very huge mental health advocate, and especially when it comes to mental health on a weight loss journey, because I really, truly, I don't think it's talked about enough. I don't think mental health on a weight loss journey is talked about enough. When you go into a weight loss journey, it's exciting, it's refreshing, you're ready to get started, and you're ready to tackle it on. But nobody truly talks about the mental shit that's going to come along with it, especially on a GLP-1. People that tell me that a GLP-1 is the easy way out, I would love for them to just take a minute and actually walk in my shoes because as somebody who has dealt with binging and has dealt with using food as a coping mechanism, this is the hardest shit I've ever had to do. And even though it's very beautiful, it's hard to actually sit with your anxieties, sit with your emotions and truly look at them in the eye and process that shit. And Yeah, I think a lot of people are so hard on themselves when they have a bad day or when they feel like their mental is spiraling because you're supposed to be happy, you're losing weight and you're not turning to food anymore. But like, why am I sad? Why am I not happy? Like, why do I feel anxious? Why do I feel stressed? And that is why I'm such a huge advocate on feeling that shit and going through it. And don't tell yourself that you're broken because you're feeling it, or don't tell yourself that your journey is not enough or you're not doing it right because you're going through that. That is part of the journey. You have to literally break down and build yourself back up. And
Yeah,
it kind of
hell
leads
yeah.
me into that because I used to cope with food. I felt anything and I would turn to food, even if it was happiness, even if it was excitement. If I got a promotion, I'd had to go celebrate with food. Or if I was so sad because something really terrifying or hard happened, I would turn to food
Always food.
as something to help fill a void in me. And now, if I feel happy or if I'm rewarding myself, kind of like Tay said, I do think that, going out to eat or eating something is not wrong. I think it's still right to reward yourself with food, but I no longer use it as a coping mechanism. I no longer feel like I have to eat everything on my plate because if I don't, my world's going to crumble and I'm going to fall to the floor. I think now I use it more so like just a social thing. Like I'm going to go out to eat with my friends
Yes.
and hang around them. But another thing that I'm kind of learning too is to just spend me time, whether that means like sitting in the mirror and do my makeup and just like being on FaceTime with Liver or, going out to go look for new makeup or going on a walk. Like it's just like me time, truly like me time. Like today, I literally called Liv and I was doing my makeup with her, and that truly was like such therapeutic time for me. I feel like I'm using different outlets now to reward myself. And one of my favorite ones is honestly, I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I love to hit up Ulta. I love to hit up Old Navy.
Mm.
Um
Oh,
it's a
that's right up my alley,
it
girl. You know
it's a
it.
vice, but
Uh-huh.
I love it, and
Yeah.
I'll keep doing it because
Yeah.
and like I'm telling y'all, like I think like even if you obviously get a fun promotion or like you do or you get like such a big accomplishment, I do think you should still go out and celebrate with your friends out and to eat. Hell yeah, you deserve to go out for a treat and don't beat yourself up for it either because if you really truly think about it, I used to order so much food that I didn't even need because
Oh
it
my
was
gosh.
filling a
Yeah.
void for me. And
No,
now
yeah.
the other day I went out to eat to celebrate my sister's birthday and I usually would have like we ordered so much food, y'all. We ordered like two appetizers for the table, and then we ordered like food, obviously, like to eat. But normally I would chow down on those appetizers, dude. I would have like half of each one, and then I would still eat the whole plate on my meal. And I had maybe like two or three chips, and then I didn't even finish my whole salad, but it still felt good, to be able to celebrate and have fun with in a restaurant setting. So it's like I think we could still be our old selves, but just better.
Yeah. Well, and two is like we like what you said is like we just grew up, a lot of us having that unhealthy relationship with food is that we just really focused on food to cope with, to, any kind of celebrations. I know like my family, we'd go out to eat and stuff like that. So I think I just, one day was like, oh, this is how I cope with feelings. And I just remember like anytime I was sad, I would hide food in my room and I would eat it. Anytime I was celebrating something, I was eating. I constantly was going towards food to celebrate and to kind of cope and to reward myself. And I think this is like a great way to like end the episode because, we really need to practice mental like Chris said, mental health is so important on a weight loss journey, especially being on a GLP-1 is because we don't think about food anymore. And so Chris and I, a lot of times we do talk about anxiety and depression and stuff because um we can't just like feed the emotions anymore. We have to like actually think about them now. And so sometimes it gets scary and the anxiety and stuff like that can feel heightened because it's like, well, now I can't eat an entire cake when I'm feeling anxious or I'm feeling depressed. So we have to really like think about all of those feelings and resonate with those feelings and actually learn how to cope with them. But I think it's kind of like it's bittersweet, because maybe stuff that we were actually just pushing down and shoving down in our stomachs with food is stuff that actually needs to be worked through now and talked about. And I think that it's like bittersweet. And I'm definitely learning a lot about myself. This is so much more than a physical journey. And that's why
Mhm,
Chris and I, until we're blue in the face, are going to continue to tell you guys that like stop focusing on the scale because you are growing so much as a person, so
mhm,
much rather than just how much that number is decreasing. Like I promise you, like there are so many changes that you're really not recognizing because you're so focused on that scale. And there's so many things that you guys could be doing for yourselves rather than just worrying about the scale. One thing that kind of like what Chris said is I like to reward myself with now is makeup. I love makeup. I love buying me a new bottle to hit my water bowl with. And I'm always buying, like, new activewear because if you need some motivation to get into the gym, guess what? Buy a cute gym outfit.
Yes, that'll always do it for me, girl.
That'll do it for Pris and I. Pris and I love to get matching shoes together. We have 2 pairs now that match. So, get some new sneakers for the gym, and there's little things that'll really motivate you and, like, you can reward yourself with now that's not food anymore. I think
Mhm.
to end the episode, I really want to kind of tie in and kind of say what I said a couple minutes ago is I encourage every single one of you listening is this week and in the comments, I want you guys to think about one thing that you're proud of that you did this month of June that is not scale involved.
If that
Yeah.
thing wasn't even there, what would it be for you that would be
Yeah.
doing it?
What would be doing it for you? And we wanna
Yeah.
know.
And I think a question that I would like everyone to think about for next week's episode, and me and Tay included, is what is something on our journey that we're unlearning right now? I think that's something that we can all think about and learn from, and that's something that me personally I want to reflect on because there's a lot of things that I'm learning, but what is something that I'm unlearning? So
Ooh, okay.
I'll leave y'all with that and we'll follow up at next week's episode. But I also wanted to go ahead and before we leave, I wanted to introduce a new segment that we are bringing on to the podcast. It is called Dear Dose of It. And we want to hear y'all's side. We want to hear y'all's juicy confessions, y'all's awkward moments, or if y'all need some advice, slide in the DMs. We do have some that we'll be bringing up at our next episode. But if you did not know we have a new segment, now you know. So if
Now
you
you
need
know.
advice, if you just want to rant, vent, if somebody is pissing you off and you're like, dude, I need to let it out. Send it to the DM. We'll touch up on it. And yeah, we'll keep it anonymous. Nobody has to know. Just between us.
Pris, this was another healing episode with you. I always love talking to my liver.
Yes.
And I think that this really also made me do a lot of, like, self-reflecting on, like, working on not focusing on the scale, and again, we encourage you guys to hide the scale for the next week, and then we'll come back next week and we'll all check in, but I love you, Pris, I love all of our listeners and our viewers, and I hope you guys have an amazing week, and please send us a dear dose of it entry. We would love to read your guys' entries, and yeah, that's all I have to say for this
I love you
episode.
guys, and me and Taylor are both so proud of you guys wherever you are on your journey. You're choosing you at the end of the day, and that is the hardest shit that you could ever do. So don't forget that. And I love y'all. Oh, and also on a dear dose of it, if you just even want to let us know how this podcast has helped you in your journey, or how you feel about the podcast, we would love to hear it. Because at the end of the day, we
Yes.
truly do this for y'all. So we love you guys, and thank y'all so much. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye, besties, we love you.
Bye.